Shimwell under center. Hands to Gailey. He is hit. Second effort may have gotten him in. It's been fumbled and picked up by Clay Thompson. Thompson to the 40. He may take it all the way. I didn't hear a whistle. Thompson to the 20, to the 10. Thompson takes it 99 yards for the touchdown. What in the world? And we're able to see the replay up here thanks to our friend Joe Harvey and his crew at WCS TV. And I'm still looking to see where the ball is. And the ball was somebody knocked the ball loose.
Clay Thompson ripped that ball out of there. Oh man, their coach is still irate over there.
Man goes in motion. Give goes to Gailey, trying the near side. Taken down, nice tackle right there by Shimwell. Rolling left, getting pressure. He is hit. What a hit by Grayson. A loss back at the 43.
Good.
Snap is there. The punt is away. Taken by C.J. Taylor to 15. He loses the tackler 20, 25, 30, 35 to the 40. Gets inside to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, and finally wrestled out of bounds.
Wow.
Taylor rolling to the near side. He's going to run it. Taylor to the 20, to the 15. He'll go out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Should be enough for a first down. On the keeper, this is C.J. Taylor right up the middle. Touchdown, Pioneers. That is a Security Federal touchdown. Shimwell drops back to throw. Here comes pressure. Completes the screen pass. Nice takedown at the 48-yard line. Shimwell back to throw. Good protection. Throws over the middle. It is going to be incomplete. A Pioneer got a hand on it. I think it was Dante Elam. Back to throw. Taylor looking, stepping up, now throwing. Got a man wide open. That is going to be Grayson. Grayson makes the catch. He is going to take it to the end zone.
Wow, how did he get behind the safeties? I mean, it was wide open.
Yep. Give goes to Kaysen. 35 to the 40, to the 45, to the 50. Kaysen knocked out of bounds in Raider territory at the 47-yard line. Taylor watching the play clock down to 6. Taylor hands off to Ryland Holder. Past the 35, down to the 34. This is going to be Grayson. Breaks loose to the 50, to the 45, to the 40. And down at the 35-yard line in Coffee County territory. Elrod pitches to Taylor. Taylor with an opening. He takes it to the end zone and touchdown Pioneers. Security Federal touchdown for C.J. Taylor. As they take it about 65, 66 yards on the drive. And C.J. Taylor takes it to the end zone, 5 yards out. Taylor takes the snap. Back to throw. Pass to the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers. Kaysen Holder makes the catch. Big third down play for the Pioneers. Taylor pass to Holder.
Well, number 70. He's been getting into a couple of tough ones out there. Coach Turner's talking.
Elrod will back up and take the knee with 37 seconds to go. And that is going to do it. It wasn't easy, certainly wasn't comfortable, but the Pioneers come away from Manchester with a hard-earned 35-19 win over the Coffee County Red Raiders. A border battle that had the feel of a heavyweight fight. And Warren County comes out with their hand raised. Pioneers beat the Coffee County Red Raiders 35-19. Hi everybody, I'm Jay Walker with 92.1 The Ticket, your home for Pioneer Sports. Welcome to Turner Time, featuring Warren County Pioneer head football coach Matt Turner and the Warren County Sports Authority, Jeff Simmons.
I'm ready
Jeff
to go.
Simmons.
Got the mic, everything. I'm good to go.
Yes, sir.
Clean shirt. We're ready to roll.
Clean shirt. I don't know about you combed your hair, maybe.
Well, whether you were a coach, a player, or a media representative, it was exhausting Friday night.
Yep, it was another one of those games, and I think our kids, big rivalry game. You nailed it on the head. Of course, with a couple of our hometown boys, C.J. Anthony up there, and these guys know each other. And I mean, technically, it's the same kids. That 15-minute, 20-minute drive down there. So demographics are right. They probably know each other. Obviously, a lot of John and a lot of pride on the line when you play the team like Coffee County. That bragging rights for the next year, and I know this senior class has pretty much owned Coffee County for the most part, even in middle school. So, I know Coffee County was really wanting to, get some bragging rights for the senior class heading out, and of course it didn't happen. So.
Yeah. And at this point, and you've talked to your team about this, and this is something that Warren County has seen on the other end, where teams are trying to spoil somebody else's perfect record, trying to spoil the things that they're doing. Warren County comes into a game at 7-0, Coffee County 4-3. People are saying, "Hey, you get the chance to burst their bubble.
Right.
You get to be the team that takes down Warren County." And it's weird for us to be into that role where people are like, "Let's go spoil their season," because we're usually the team that's trying to play the role of spoiler. Now, do we get to go back to that these next 2 weeks? Probably so.
Yep,
even though,
of course.
But we're going to go into those games undefeated, and it's because they got a chance to go in there and took care of business. Was it pretty all the time? No.
No, of course not.
But it was never going to be. Coffee County, good coach team, like to mix it up. They do unpredictable things because they want that game to be unpredictable.
Right.
Because they knew that was the only way that was going to go well for them, is get us into uncomfortable things, doing uncharacteristic things, and we did for the first time, but we still came out with a win.
Yeah, and of course, we had to weather that storm, because like you said, they was playing for everything. All their marbles was lined up there, because their chances playoff dramatically, I feel like, went down after Friday night's loss to us. And of course, it was their homecoming. If I'm not mistaken, no, I think they got one more home game with the Riverdale.
Riverdale next week.
Riverdale. And like you said, they're playing to be the spoilers, and they're a good team. I mean, they're 4-3. And beat some teams that we had beat in the region. Worse than we did, by more than we did. So I mean, they and that team was very capable, and it was dangerous. They was a dangerous team. And of course, also coming off the bye week, really, I felt like really hurt us, and I think some of that stuff, our kids don't know I'm going to have this conversation with them this week. I felt like our kids was playing not to lose, because we was going into that game expected to win. We should have, on paper, this, that, and other, and we haven't been there enough to know. We didn't attack. I don't feel like the players attacked the game playing to win. They was playing not to lose, and there's a big difference there.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights. The passing game was certainly needed, and it produced a couple of touchdowns.
It did. Well, which one we got here?
I mean, this is the one that kind of takes the top off the defense. This is Grayson.
Got a man wide open.
Going all the way.
Oh yeah, of course we saw it as the offensive staff. They pretty much pulled a safety or a corner out and was playing with an extra lineman, an extra guy in the box, and of course trying to stop a run, and of course everybody's going to do that, and we was able to slide Grayson out behind, and of course we did it again later on. But yeah, it was a great call play.
This is one that you're going to want to have back, he's not across the line.
No, he's not, because the line was right in front of the line of scrimmage was right in front of the 30-yard line, and of course we have froze it, and and I think the rule is any part of that has to be behind. But yeah.
He was, and of course that was a called back touchdown. That the score of this game may be 42-19, but here at the end of the game, Kaysen gets in anyway.
Same plays earlier before. Of course they're just. Coach Schultz and Coach Elrod caught a great play right there. Great angle right here. We're behind the defender. CJ throws it well. Nice throw and catch.
Yep. You know, and this is the things that you've seen. You know, Warren County hadn't thrown a touchdown pass since week 4 against Lawrence County.
Wow.
Went 3 weeks without it. So just to show people again that if you're going to put 9 and you're going to put 10 in the box, there are athletes on Warren County's on the outside that can get behind you.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good review and a good reminder. And if anything, it's just more things that Riverdale and Oakland the next 2 weeks have to prepare for.
You know, because Coffee County's secondary coach is a former head coach from Alabama, and his defense coordinator is a former head coach from Alabama, and then Coach Green's a defensive-minded. That was a very well-coached defense right there.
Yep.
They're an unpredictable. Predictable on their standpoint. They know where they are. Yeah. We don't necessarily, but and they did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was nice to see the passing game get some chunk plays again, and when you needed them, because there's a good chance you're going to have to be able to make some plays in the air.
Oh, yeah, we've got to. When they're putting 11 and 12 people in the box, that's what it feels like. Yeah. We've got to be able to loosen them up or take advantage of them, because I still don't believe, they're going to do that. They're not going to honor our passing game.
And after the Coffee County offense took it downfield, nearly scored on their first possession.
Wow, yeah.
After that, the Pioneer defense really clamped down on it.
Yeah, the defense actually, Coach Bond, and, of course, the great awareness by Clay Thompson on a play I'm sure we'll look at here in a little bit. But, after that first series, and that was that initial punch that Coffee County threw at us, and we had to settle in and get our feet back underneath us, as far as I feel like that's where that rust we'd get off defensively. But Coach Bond called another shutout. I know the score was 19.
Yeah.
But all of those scores came off of special teams or offensive turnovers, and not even. It was interception for a touchdown and fumble for a touchdown. So Coach Bond threw another shutout right there.
Yeah, and all the plays that we're watching right here are all fourth downs. These are all getting off the field, and that's the thing that if you're going to play a team and they're going to get creative, they're going to get aggressive on fourth down, you have to find the way to get off the field. And that Dayton Jernigan, good rush there. They actually called intentional grounding on this play as well. That's in the fourth quarter. The thing about it was, you ended up with 5 fourth down stops. Coffee County 0 for 5 on fourth down in this game. Had to punt 4 times, as Jay mentioned. They had 150 yards of offense, but they had 64 on the first drive.
Yeah, and people don't realize. That offense is put up some big numbers passing and rushing.
Absolutely.
Big numbers against some good football teams. And this is a team right here that went 20-19 and should have beat Cookeville at Cookeville a few weeks back. Coach Bond, hats off to him. Hats off to the D-line, Bryson Elrod. Bryson Elrod actually got our defensive player of the game because, he came up big. Of course, Dayton Jernigan was right there making some plays. We only rushed 4 this week. We didn't really rush our linebackers like we have in the past because they've been hitting. Coffee County's got a great inside seam mid-crosser offense.
If you're a Tennessee fan watching right now, you understand what happens when you can't defend the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So I think that was the game plan for Warren County's defense, as you said, was you were not going to the Braylon Grayson and Rylan Holder, guys who have been making 10, 15 tackles a game because they've been getting downhill. They were a little bit more wait and see what was going on, and had a great game. It was exactly what you needed to do to beat this team. Plus, as you said, Bryson Elrod, 12 tackles, 2 sacks. That front 4 was getting pressure without having to bring.
And I felt like we could. I felt like all week we could get that pressure. And of course some people was like, oh man, they're getting 4, 5, 6 yards a carry on rushing. And a lot of it was because we was not as aggressive up front in the middle with our 2 linebackers. Just because we had seen it so much on film that Coffee County, if you got aggressive with them, they throw it right behind you and right in the middle of that field, and right there you go. Coach Bond and Coach Ramsey and Donnie Harris, man, they are doing an outstanding job on defense.
Let's take a look at some stats.
All
C.J.
right.
Taylor, 3 for 7 passing for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. I believe the first interceptions he's thrown.
Yep. It was, and that was CJ trying to do too much. And I feel like if this game went against Coffee County, he probably might take the sack right there, or throws it away. But they was some. You could tell they was some just rivalry there that he wanted to do. So.
Yeah, I mean the one the pick six was probably one like you'd like to see him take that one in. The other one, it came on a 4th and 4, and he chucked it down the field and ended. I mean, I heard some coaching staff on the sideline even said it worked like a punt.
Yeah, good as a punt.
He threw it down in there. They caught it at the 5, so
punt.
it didn't really hurt. But like you said, otherwise he's played clean. He played 7 clean games all year.
Yeah.
He was probably due for something to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you still come out with a 16-point win, so you can learn from it.
Bryson Elrod 1 for 2 for 6 yards. Receiving, Braylon Grayson 1 catch for 55 yards and a touchdown. Kaysen Holder 2 catches for 34 yards, a touchdown. CJ 1 catch for 6 yards.
Right.
Rushing, CJ 21 carries for 70 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Kaysen Holder 7 carries, 48 yards. Braylon Grayson 7 carries, 25 yards. Ryland Holder 5 carries for 17 yards. So for the first time, CJ held for under 100, but he makes things happen through the air as well as on the ground. So
he did, and that goes back to that just being a slugfest, you know.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's 68 hidden yards that CJ had. I mean, he had the 48-yard punt returning and a 20-yard kickoff return. I told a couple people, I actually think I wrote this on the Warren County Sports Authority story from the weekend. It was the most ho-hum 233 total yard, 4 touchdown performance that you're going to see. Yeah. It's just we've gotten spoiled by seeing CJ just put out spectacular games that when you have to see him earn it, he can. I mean, he will.
Yeah.
He went out and did it on Friday night.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of that, you know, and some of that stuff there at the end, you know, I was in Coach Schultz's ear about things. There's certain things that we didn't need CJ carrying the ball and risking injury, you know. So there's some things that, you know, and CJ doesn't understand that, and probably the fans may not understand that. But we've got 3 games guaranteed here coming down the pipe, hopefully more. So
defensively, Bryson Elrod 12 tackles and 2 sacks.
Good night.
Braylon Grayson 9 tackles and a sack. Dayton Jernigan 4 tackles and a sack. Clay Thompson a 100-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Which leads us to our player of the week.
All right, some good ones to choose this week.
Congratulations to Clay Thompson, the Security Federal Player of the Week.
All right.
I mean, I think that it's pretty easy. He had the momentum-changing play of the game. I mean, Coffee County's run it all the way down the field, gets to the 1-yard line, and there's a great angle on this play that I think we're going to see here in just a second with Joe. I mean, you have it in the end zone, and you see Clay reach in, grab the ball, and just rip it out of the guy's hands. Was he across the line of scrimmage?
That's up to the ref.
I didn't see a referee.
He didn't blow a whistle.
He didn't blow a whistle. No one signaled touchdown. Clay played and kept playing, grabs the ball, rips it out, gets it down the sideline, goes 100 yards, and puts his names in the state record book, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I mean, you see Clay comes in here right in the middle of the screen, works
and
to the ball.
And that's just a smart young football player being aware and doing what we do in practice. Play to the whistle blows. Play to the whistle blow and don't take a play off. And so many times in the past we've seen teams get to that point right there, and the secondary guys just watch them push it in.
Yep.
You know, right there, you know, these guys, that defense is salty and don't want to be scored on. You know, now, you know, and was it in, was it out? I don't know. That's up to the ref. You know, because, I mean, obviously there's a play later on down the road where Coffee County gets one kind of the same way, you know, with that fumble that CJ had, you know, that was questionable. So
I mean, anybody that wants to say that this was a 14-point swing and Coffee County could have scored and got that 7 there, we don't get the 7. Well, I mean, my thing is CJ was behind the line of scrimmage when he threw the touchdown pass, and CJ was down when they scored on their fumble recovery, so there's 14 points the other way. So either way, it was kind of a wash when it comes out there. But this is a hustle play. These are the plays that you have to make. This is the reason why Warren County's 8-0, and this is the reason why Clay Thompson's the security player.
I mean, you can tell Clay's pushing. I mean, Ryland's pushing on that kid back, and right there it is. You know. So I mean, you know, great heads-up play by Clay. And, you know, and that's a great teaching point for the rest of the season and many seasons to come.
He's been fun to watch this season.
Boy, he is. And you know, and the player of the game, too, I know it's not on his highlight right here, but there's one play. He blocks number 5 from on Coffee County. He blocks him plumb off the screen. And literally, I think Mr. Jeff off Painted Barn wanted him in the syrup squad with the offensive line because he had the prettiest flat back pancake, and they was 2 or 3 more, So I mean, it was a great night for Clay.
It was a good night for Clay.
Yeah, he and number 5 were going at it all
night, and and then of course Clay did well as far as keeping his composure too, because it was getting jolly there.
Yep.
So again, congratulations to Clay
Yes, sir.
Thompson,
Good
Security
job, Clay.
Federal Player of the Week. Time now for the tough question for Turner.
All
Here's
right.
Warren County Sports Authority.
All right, Coach. Again, we always encourage our readers to email in. You can send this to wcsportsauthority@gmail.com. That's actually what happened this week. We have a subscriber that sent us one. Thanks for reading all of our stuff. Said,
right.
Coach, there are a lot of personal fouls in that game Friday night, and many came from the other side. So what do you have to do on the sidelines and in practice to keep your team from losing its cool on those moments? And how hard is it as a coach to deal with a bad call when you know it's a blown call?
All right, so we got a 2-part question here that are kind of two totally different things. There, one thing I guess is the kids, and I felt that the personal fouls, obviously, this viewer was watching the game because the personal fouls was not on us.
No.
A majority of the time now there was, we had some, sure, but we are constantly been talking about that because we've definitely seen it a lot this season because teams are not used to getting beat by Warren County. Mm-hmm. And they don't know how to handle it. And of course they start, and like you guys both have seen this, y'all have seen many Warren County teams on that side where the game is over, you're getting beat, and you just lose your mind. Mm-hmm. And now but as what we do in practice, and of course I know anybody watches this game because one question I've asked a lot is like, who's number 70? What? And if they know who 70 is, they're saying, what was wrong with Brian? Because you'll see me, and that's one reason I don't wear a headset on the sidelines because I'm trying to monitor those players and trying to pick them up or make corrections or different things like that. But I saw Brian, and this went all the way back to the DeKalb County game where he suplexed the kid that was fixing to hit Dante Elam, and so we knew right then, okay, well, Brian's not a hothead. He is just he's very loyal to his teammates, and of course, so he was getting jumped a little bit premature because our team knows, hey, we need you, and of course we play like we practice, so that stuff happens in practice, and of course now what do we do in practice? I get under their skin pretty good, I push them, I talk about their emotions, I try to get them on the ragged edge so they can handle that pressure on Friday nights. It's a daily thing, and also there may be times that we literally need to pull them off and cool them off. How hard is it to deal with a bad call? What I've been trying to do, because when I was a young wrestling coach, I was that young coach, and I was going to eat a ref up, and I found out that does not get you anything, So a lot of times I just ask for clarification, and then I'm like, oh man, you taught me something there. I didn't, of course I didn't see it that way, and so I try to build a rapport with the refs. Of course my biggest thing is trying to keep my assistant coaches from being the guy in the back, oh, that was holding or this is that, because the ref is not going to be like, oh, hey, coach, you're right. Let me pull that flag back up or let me call that play back. So
sometimes I don't even know if it's just your coaching staff that you're having to cool down on the sideline. So sometimes I think it's some reporters.
Yeah, there's media, there's, and then, of course, I go home and I'll watch the game and I hear Mr. Walker and Mr. Jeff Lee making comments too. So, but I feel like, if we build a good rapport with the refs and stuff like that, they're trying to do their job.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I really do believe that. And that's where we got to play above the ref. I don't want to ever be in a game where the ref is a reason, is a reason that we might have lost that game. Especially it goes back to wrestling because that ref's right there. Out wrestle your opponent, and so it's completely out of the ref's hand.
Yep.
So. Well, a huge game with Riverdale coming up at Nunley Stadium. Wow. Some of the Murfreesboro matchups feel new. Warren County's been playing Riverdale a long time, going back to before Riverdale even had their own football field.
Yep.
Jeff, where does the rivalry stand?
I went back and I started looking into this one because I know that, like we said, Siegel, Rockville, Black, some of those schools we've only been playing for maybe 5, 10. Siegel, Rockville, we've only been playing 2 years, 4 years. Riverdale goes back to 1972.
Yep.
goes back to Pedro Paz days.
Yep,
Where
them
it was
and
a
Oakland. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
7-7 tie in that first matchup. Warren County 8-22-1 against Riverdale all time. Riverdale has won the last 15 straight.
Yep.
And I know this is a year that we've talked about a lot on this program. Warren County, last time that they beat Riverdale, 1990. That last time that they had a winning season, 1990. And, the last 5 times that they've played, these been region matchups. In these last 5 years, Riverdale 227 points, Warren County 35. Warren County actually has been shut out twice in the last 2 seasons. It's been against Riverdale. So, Coach, I know those are numbers you don't want to hear.
That is truth, though, man.
It's just
truth.
where it is right now. Riverdale has been, as much as anybody, Riverdale has had some big dominating wins. I know at one point they won 72-0 against the Pioneers back in the 90s. So this goes back, and Coach, you played against them.
Yep, I sure did. I played against them in when they were state championship teams.
Yep.
Back in those days, played with them when they was at MTSU.
Right.
Of course, I never played at Tomahawk Stadium. We always played at MTSU on the turf. That hatred towards Riverdale is always there. And of course, we got one of our former coaches on that 80 squad, Coach Rankin, that kind of came in and wanted to, he was testing out his new coaching career and wanted to make a statement, I think. And, and then I remember that 72-0 there. Thrashing that we got, and that's one thing that Riverdale does have. They have that name, but these kids, that's exactly all it is, and it's a good program, obviously. So.
Well, the thing about it is, and it's the same thing that we can talk about, and you've said it so many times. Warren County is 8-22-1 overall in the history of our programs. They're 0-0 against Riverdale this year.
Yeah, they're 0-0 this week.
They're 0-0 this week.
That's right. And we can go down. How many times have we talked about this overall against other teams? How long was it since we beat Cookeville?
It'd been
15 years, wasn't it? 14.
It was 2008, or 2007. It had been 13 years.
13 years. And that's where I'm trying to get these. Our past don't define Squad 52 right now.
Yep.
Now, granted, and that's kind of our game plan a little bit. It was against Blackman. It was against Cookeville, because I feel like, hey, if we get out there and punch them in the mouth and we hit them and we put ourselves in a chance to win, they will start imploding a little bit because they're not used to it. I've seen it on the wrestling mat, and I've seen it. We've seen it on the sidelines. Where teams that have totally dominated us. When we start competing with them, they don't know how to react with it. And then if we can get the coaches because the coaches, trust me, that Riverdale staff does not want to lose to Warren County.
Oh, no.
And then so if we can rattle them, then we're going to rattle the players.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing. I hate Riverdale, but anyway.
And I was in the press box for 72-0, so that was painful.
Yeah.
We're returning to Nunley, where the Pioneer defense has been dominant this year. Riverdale is one of the best defenses in the state. Coach, how hard is it going to be to get points Friday night?
Well, I don't know. No different than it is any Friday night. We're going to go after it, and it's all about securing the block, getting the block in the right guys, and securing the football, and marching it down the field. We're going to go back to, our philosophy is 3, 6, 9, 12. We're happy with a 3-yard gain. If you do that 4 times in a row, that's first down. We move the chains, And, of course, we're going to, work on some play calling and different things like that. But, and I think this game has the potential to be a true slugfest. Yeah. Of course, they've got a big running back and pretty smash mouth type offense. So it's going to be fun. I'm like, Simmons was over here before the show talking. This game might be very, very quick.
Yeah.
So
it could be. The thing is we're taking. There's no reason to be anything other than what you already are. In 8 games this year, we are a running team.
No.
And when we have won the games that people didn't think we were going to, it's because we've ran the ball effectively.
Yep.
Riverdale is a team that wants to run the ball. Will their quarterback, who's been in and out of the lineup this year, play this Friday night?
Who knows?
Who knows? Does he not? I don't think it's going to change their identity on offense. They're going to try to run the ball a lot. And like you said, This game could start at 7 and be over by 9 because the clock just never stops because both teams are going to take it down, run it, be methodical, and they have a good front seven, but we've seen good front sevens this year.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a
Riverdale's
tough
one of the
defense.
top teams in the state. I mean, it's a good team, but Squad 52 is a good team. Now, maybe our history is not good, but don't define who we are right now.
Yeah, you're putting at this point right now, people just need to understand we're putting ourselves in the conversation of every single week we're playing to be one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah.
Because that's where we've put ourselves after 8 weeks. It's Riverdale, it's Oakland, it's the playoffs. I mean, that's every week. Are you one of the best 32 teams, 16 teams, 8 teams in the state? We'll go prove it.
Yeah, and I mean we these kids at Squad 52's done their job to put themselves in this position each week so far.
Yep.
So let's toe the line and slug it out.
Well, we can safely say the Pioneers are going to be in the playoffs this year. Jeff, how important is this game for seeding?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were talking about how, they clinched it because they beat Coffee County. Warren County clinched it when they beat Cookeville 2 weeks ago. It was just simply, did you want to go in?
Cut and dry.
Did you want to go in as a tiebreaker, or did you want to go in on a momentum? We're going to go in with momentum because we've already won 5 games. You win this game, and now you're talking about you're going to be at home.
Yep.
And I think that's
hosting.
I think that's the biggest thing right now is you win either of these next 2 games, and right now we're only worried about Riverdale because we're 0-0. You win this game, and you're going to be at Nunley Stadium this Friday night, next Friday night, and the first weekend in November.
Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing about seeding for this week is you win, you're at home for the playoffs. The first game.
Yep, and it's huge, and I think that's where we have, because Riverdale's had home playoff games, and I'm sure everybody in the Blue Moon's picking Riverdale to win this game, and that's fine. But I also know what happens to a team when they're playing not to lose versus a team that's playing to win. So.
All right, so that's just about going to wrap it up for Turner time.
All right, that's it.
So it's Warren County and Riverdale this coming Friday night at Nunley Stadium. Get you a ticket if you can. Do the best you can to be out there and support the Pioneers as they take on Riverdale in a crucial Region 3 matchup. Well, that's about going to wrap it up. We thank you for watching. Want to thank our sponsor, Security Federal Savings Bank. Want to thank Mud Bums for having us out here tonight.
Mud Bums.
For head coach Matt Turner, Warren County Sports Authority Jeff Simmons, I'm Shane Walker. We'll see you next time on Turner Time.
Go Pioneers.